Walking really does cure anxiety. And I know what you're thinking out there. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, maybe you are right. I did not know what I was talking about. I actually had no idea that something as simple as taking a few steps a day could change my entire life. And the few steps changed into more steps to come. What I mean by that is 1,000 turns into 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, and before you know it, you're conquering 10,000. And you're so far and deep into your journey, you don't realize that you're actually feeling a lot better. And so I used to be just like you. If you're out there struggling to get out of the depression state or that feeling, that brain fog, that anxiety, overthinking, chest pains, palpitation, heart racing, palpitations, right? Breaking out in sweat, just always fearing the worst case scenario. I used to be that guy. I used to be that person. And until today, if I don't take the steps to prepare myself, I am still that guy. And there isn't any shame in admitting that. As a matter of fact, I think this needs to be heard more, and these types of stories need to be shared more. Um, I think that mental health in the world, the global population, but in America, right? I mean, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and just looking all around me, just my 360, my proximity, when I was in California too, these are things. Mental health is a serious issue, and where I'm going with this one is that anxiety is also a trigger, is a mechanism. And some of this may have to do with post traumatic stress syndrome, things that you may have been through in your childhood, trauma, emotional trauma, people you hang around with, substance abuse, what you put in your body, for example. Nutrition is a big one, sleep is a big one, right? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough water? But most importantly, the game changer for me was vitamin D, sunlight. You realize how much time we spent indoors and still do during COVID? How many of us got caught up in a habit of staying indoors and just not even seeing the daylight? Netflix and chill was a big deal. And I found myself, as I mentioned in my other videos, I am someone that had some sort of a structure, but I wasn't executing it to the optimal. I wasn't maximizing what I already knew and I had until I started putting on my pair of headphones. As a matter of fact, these right here, this is my lifesaver. So I turn on my favorite podcasts, my music playlist, whatever it is on YouTube, and I just started listening to self-improvement documentaries and tutorials and channels. And I have some favorite speakers on YouTube. We all do. But I listened to a lot of these podcasts and self-improvement journey type clips. And but most importantly, I started walking, and the joys of walking slowly cleared the brain fog. The more I went the distance, it seemed effortless. And one of the greatest things about this is that walking improves your blood flow. Think about that for a second. Okay, you're sitting at home. I am sitting at home. Sitting on our couch. We're just laying flat, eating unhealthy. There's no circulation of your blood to the brain. There's no movement, right? And so when blood flows and it streams into other organs of your body, especially your brain, the way you think is going to affect your actions. So actionable items, you're going to be more productive. You're going to be in a great mood, and your anxiety does lower. You're going to offset that feeling of dark despair, gloom. Like I said before, and I love saying this, is you leave your home a very depressed and dark person maybe during those spells. And when the cycles, because I think anxiety can hit you out of nowhere, and when it hits you, you almost panic and you make your anxiety worse. And the way I deal with it is I leave my home, right? I get out the door, and I know the voice in my head now is, You got to do the work. You got to put in the work. And the byproduct is you get fit, you get lean. It makes you make better decisions. And like I said, there's nothing like the combination of sunlight and becoming one with nature and feeling the leaves, the plants, smelling the environment, looking up at the sky, taking a deep breath, right? Really letting those elements, nature elements, sink in. And that environment that you're exposed to outside and you come back home, inside just all of a sudden looks completely different. And guess what? Your inside starts looking and feeling a lot different. And then you exude that energy outward. You are a much more positive person. I hope this is helpful. And let's continue this session. Let's continue these discussions in future videos, and where I dive into diet, sleep, more movement, more flexibility, mobility. I know the name of the channel is Life Behind the Reels because a lot of my time I spent preparation for my shoots, as I talked about in other videos, gigs, modeling, music video shoots. A lot of my time becoming the best version of myself happens behind the scenes. But in behind the scenes, we're also fighting a battle. Anxiety, mental health, depression, whatever it may be, diet, getting in the best shape. And I've taken on this persona and this role to further advance my journey, but also maybe reach out to people out there who need to hear this message. So with that said, Mamba out.